Hello and welcome to Spring Seasonal, the recap, and we have got the famous Garthnix on with us.
Yo, what's going on? I'm grey today, as you can see.
Great man. And we have got the one and only from STDB, Logical Lee. What a legend.
Hello there. Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
How is everyone?
I'm good. Feeling a little bit, poorly. I've started to come down with this weird disease. I think my skin's gone kind of grey.
Ah,
I'm a bit pixelated, but maybe I'll be over it by next week. I don't know.
fingers crossed. I don't know. Every time that we do this stream, whoever's hosting is fine. It's the opposite person.
It's the other side,
Oh,
yeah.
one day we'll get to it.
It's
But
not even my cam, bro. I was saying before the stream, I've literally got like a new cam for everyone, so you can see my glowing face.
yeah.
And it's full glory, and here we go with the like pixelated grey boy. So
I mean,
back
it fits the time we play in the game, so
the
I think
era.
it's perfectly the era. Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice. That's why I put my suit on as well, to really embrace.
To fit in.
Yeah,
What a
Looks
weekend
great.
we've had, eh?
Oh yeah.
I,
so
I,
good.
I think that might have been my favourite weekend of the tournament so far, including qualifier stage as well.
It was crazy, dude. Like so many good games and so many like well evenly matched games and exciting games to watch. Uh, awesome, awesome.
And
Congratulations, by the way, Lee. We
Yeah,
should
yeah,
thanks
maybe
a lot.
start by saying on your success. We'll get into that in a minute, I'm sure. But
Sure. Yeah, I think this week I got the biggest surprise for me personally since the qualifier from the results, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, it was some really good moments this week.
are you
Really
going to give us
enjoyed
a
it.
little hint?
Well, it's the line and the 116 game. I mean, or Greyhounds, sorry.
Yeah.
it was pretty intense at the end there, wasn't it?
It was crazy. Yeah, we watched it together and yelled at the screen, so it was.
To be fair, I don't think you're the only person that screamed at the screen this weekend.
Yes, I mean, there's going to be a few people who are just generally screaming, I think, because obviously we've seen some teams go out this week as well. So
Yes, two
the
and two
the
went through.
first two of the main stage gone.
Yes. Oh, but
Oh yeah.
it's been probably not their best luck, I'd say, because those teams that yet to mention, they shall not be named just yet. Definitely deserve a spot still in this tournament, but yeah, we'll get through that in a second. But thank you everyone that is just joining the chat, and we'll be watching this, in the future. So welcome everyone. I hope you've enjoyed your weekend. If you've playing, obviously, if you lost your game, then I'm pretty sure you're going to be pissed. But
Pretty pissed, but
yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed your weekend on that one. It was a thrill to watch, and I hope the streamers enjoyed streaming the games as well. Thank you very much to all the streamers that
well,
spent their
yeah,
time.
as always. I had a lot of fun doing mine. I mean, in terms of what we're going to cover today, like it's the same as every week, right? So we're gonna. You're the host, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to start with looking back over the games of this weekend.
Yes.
Then we're going to look at the games for next weekend, or are we doing stats?
We'll go stats. We'll just get the whole of last weekend off. So we'll look
Yeah.
at who played who, and then we'll go with stats, and then we'll talk about the future.
Okay, sweet. And then some clips at the end.
Definitely some clips, and there's some good
Awesome.
ones, some corkers.
Yes.
But yeah, let's not hang around. Let's get straight into this because it's going to be a very impact session tonight. 8 games, 8 immense games, 4 of which were butt crunching because of the pressure on the particular team to win, whether it was the 2-0 teams or it was the minus 2-0 teams that don't want to go out. So big pressure on those. Not so much the 1-0s, but they fought like it was a final a majority of these games, and it was epic. So the first one that we had was WTH taking on ESPT. ESPT OP
OP
BHB.
BHB.
There we
Yeah,
go.
the trio.
Yes, 5-0 to WTH, wasn't it?
What a game!
Did
What a
you
game!
did you watch it?
So yes, well, I managed to catch that one. I don't know about Lee, but I think it was. I mean, Heidi, the commander from What the Hell, came on Das Outberg stream at the end, and I think he kind of summed it up when he said maybe a really great game to watch, but quite a nerve-wracking game to play in. They were on Sam Merriglese. The What the Hell guys were the allies,
Yep.
and like, so the church was the middle point, and everybody knows that the church is a tough point, but it does kind of favor the allies. But straight away out the gate, ESPT, BHP, OP, and harking back to what we were talking about last week when we were looking ahead at this game, I was saying how there were going to probably be some really interesting strats to get people off the RT. And I think there was a moment in Lapinu's coverage where within the first, like, I don't know, it's maybe like 3 minutes, 4 minutes in, he's already spotted an AT gun that's got a lineup on a tank, a What the Hell tank in the back line, who's got a lineup on the artillery of ESPT. So like ESPT have like looked at some VOD of like another game, worked out where the tank snipe's coming from, set up an AT gun to snipe out the tank. It's literally like chess.
That's
Like
good.
these teams both wanted it so bad, and What the Hell, like, they didn't get that RT strat off, but they managed to, despite having a Lux like right in at the church, they managed to cap the church there, at Sam Merriglese church, which, as we all know, kind of favors the allies maybe with like the buildings that are kind of like closer to the church, like on the ally side. But it was really hard fought getting that first point. And I think obviously there's this kind of strat like within the game at the moment, sort of maybe a bit of a meta perhaps, where squads where teams will rely on like OPs going down, and then they'll switch people in and kick people from squads, and use the OPs to like spawn a lot of people rather than spawning on the Garys. And I think that ESPT went quite heavy on that probably, and whether that was necessarily the right strat, because they were kind of left without a Gary at one point, or like a bit short on Garys. But the What the Hell did manage to take the church as the first point, and they almost managed to catch Rue de Gambersville, which was the next point in. And honestly, like, if you make sure, and we'll say this throughout, go and watch the streams, like go and watch the VODs of these games, because like you won't believe some of the stuff that you see. And like they were so close. What the Hell was so close to capping Rue de Gambersville, like a millimeter on the the measurement kind of thing of the red like starting to cap it, or the blue starting to cap it, whatever, and 3 tigers show up. 3.
That's
like
disgusting.
just pushed them off, cleared out the whole point. Rue de Gambersville secured again for ESPT, BHBOP. Like it was you said about butt clenching. Like I think I mean, Heidi said at the end of the game, like it's never a good thing when you've almost capped a point and then you see 3 tigers come over the horizon, right?
It's very rare to see that.
Very rare and quite scary, probably, as a in a comp game. You're thinking like, what is going on? But in the end, I think, like, obviously Church is difficult in the middle to hold for the allies, but like once they did manage to get up again to Rue de Gambersville after the Tigers had fallen to infantry, they managed to kind of get back to Rue. They managed to capture Rue, and then like the last point there is kind of like I don't know. It was a bit of an easier point for them in the end at Volaville, and it fell quite quickly for the 5-0. But like it was a real, like, especially that first cap on the Church, especially that moment when they almost capped Rue de Gambersville, and then they got pushed off, and now there's 3 tigers on the field all pushing up together. Like it was a very close game, and I said, like, we were both talking about this last week, how close it was going to be, because ESPT, BHBOP, they want it. They're not just going to like let some steamroll happen. Okay, the end result is like a 5-0, but it was in no way a steamroll, and in no way was it like an easy game for What the Hell at all. ESPT, BHB, OP showing themselves to be an excellent team, as we've seen so far in the tournament already.
100%.
So whoever they're coming up against next, which we'll cover it sort of in the next section in time, is really going to have to watch out.
Yeah.
Like, I fully expect them to get through to the playoffs.
So you're saying it was, a really felt battle against WTH and ESPT, BOP, and BHP and OP. Was it a well-deserved win for WTH?
Well, tricky. I think that they were struggling for tanks. Like, I don't think that their tank game was like maybe where you would expect it to be, maybe, or where they would like it to be. But and in some ways, maybe they got a bit, I don't want to say lucky exactly with Rudy Gambersville and Volaville as the points there, but it's the last point there is quite easy to get your garrison real close because it's right on the edge of the sector. So when you're attacking it, it's quite easy to keep the pressure up. Rudy Gambersville is maybe a harder one to take, or can be quite hard to take as the allies, but once you've capped it, it's like fairly easy to defend. It's right down there on the edge of the map. You've got those buildings, you can set tanks up, you've got kind of like a sort of slightly sloped approach, like coming down to a ditch with a bush, and you can kind of, there's cover there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something where you can kind of set up quite strongly. If the points have been slightly different and, tanks had been maybe, I don't know, better backed up perhaps by ESPT with their infantry or something, like, I just think that another team coming up against What the Hell, like, they need to look at their tanks and they need to be thinking like that maybe is a weakness of What the Hell. But like, I'm never going to say that it wasn't deserved, like just the fact that they managed to push up, take Rudy Gambersville almost, get cleared off it, and then come back again to take it, like, that just shows you it's not at all an easy game. So they definitely did a good job. In terms of the like, what we normally do is kind of talk as well, don't we, about the public vote.
Yes.
So perhaps we should cover that.
So 127 votes for WTH and only 52 for ESPT, OP, BHP. So, I looking at these just as an overview, the public were right on a lot of these results here.
Yes. And,
well, with a 5-0, you can't go wrong. Obviously, they smashed their game, as tight as it was. So they're the first one to go through. They're one of the two teams that have gone through 3-0 now. 3-0, and I believe the first game was a 4-1 because of the server crash, and then they won 2 5-0. So no comment, don't.
The server crash.
I see Beard here is like, I'm gonna kick him.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
No.
It's the truth. I mean...
So yeah, they're the first ones to go through. But whoever ESPT, OPBHP got next one, it's going to be difficult.
Absolutely. And they need to watch out for ESPT, BHP, OP watching the VODs of their games. Like, we'll talk about the ban phase, like, in another section perhaps, but the ESPT OPBHP ban wave against the team they're playing, without spoiling it, has not finished yet. So I think any team that they are playing needs to be real careful to think about, well, what map am I choosing, what side am I choosing to play on that map? Because if we've played at any time recently, any time that it's been filmed in an effective way, like, they're going to have watched that and spent hours and hours studying it and tried to figure out how to beat us on this map.
100%.
Because they're hungry, real hungry.
Logically, do you have anything to quickly add to that?
Yeah, for me, SPT, OP, BHP was pretty much coming out of kind of nowhere for me. I think they popped up some few months just ago and made some really good results in friendlies against not only us, but the Greyhounds. I think Core they lost quite heavily, but I think they also got a 2-3 against WTH, and so I was kind of rooting for them as kind of the underdog, and I hope they would have, not ended in a 5-0, but it's what happens. But yeah, I think they are definitely a team, a favorite for me to get the third place. Definitely capable. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then the next game was game 2, Core versus Blacklist, and if I noticed correctly, it was yours, Garflix?
Yes, I casted this. Also, Schmitz Katze casted the other side, so I casted the Blacklist, or the Axis side again, Samurai Eglis, and Schmitz casted from the Core side in German on the Ally side.
Yep.
This game, so the points, the center point was checkpoint down the bottom of the map, and like everybody knows that's like the least desired point, basically. Like whenever that map
Everyone
restarts
hates that
and
one.
you get that point, everyone hates it. And then I won't kind of talk about the allied points too much because spoiler, they didn't really come into it. But the Axis points were the Ruder Gambersville again, and then the other one that I can't remember now off the top of my head. But listen, what happened basically is so they're all in a line along the bottom. So I'm literally looking it up now because I can't believe I'm forgetting the layout of the map. There's only like 10 maps in the game. So, but what happened is early on, the teams met kind of like pretty evenly. Blacklist, La Prairie, thank you.
There's always one person to
there's always a savior. Thank you. I literally watched this game yesterday, so like talked about it for an hour and a half because it went the whole distance, as you can see, 4-1. And Blacklist literally like that initial thing on the checkpoint was all Blacklist. Like they did real well, but then ended up kind of getting pushed off it in the end. And Core just, I'm going to keep it simple here. They just did what Core do. Yeah. They just moved into an area, put their OPs down, sat there, and then allowed different pressure in different areas to draw defenders into like different parts of the map. And as soon as they had like a tiny window to move to the next wall, they moved up to the next wall and placed their OP and did the same thing in all sectors. And you get that slow creeping Core tide where it just closes in around you, small, like a courtyard or a field at a time, or like a one street at a time, and they just get closer and closer and closer, and your OPs get further and further and further back, and they just did what they do. Their artillery, always very, very strong. Their tanks, extra strong. Like I think that's something that like. So we always see Core play really well. They've played really well in previous seasons, previous tournaments, but their tanks right now are like beast. They're so good. Yep. And in those 76s, like they just ran things, and they never pushed up too much. If they kind of pushed up a little bit too far, took a hit, they were falling back. They were working in pairs. They were coordinating really, really well. They were coordinating with the infantry. There was a moment where they had 2 tanks on the road at checkpoint, literally like strafing up and down on the street. Like it was crazy. And the poor Tiger across the field, he's got a repair station. He's got like infantry around him trying to repair him, like just trying to keep like looking out for, oh my God, like where are they? Like who's next kind of thing. And like they just had 76s like for days, and then they used the half track at Rue. Like they moved up in that ditch that I was talking about in the last section about the what the hell game. They moved up that ditch towards Rue de Gambersville. They pushed up that little hedgeway there in the kind of ditch, got real close, placed their half track, and it just stayed there. And if it wasn't for the kind of immortal Blacklist OP right down in the corner of the map, just down below the point at La Prairie. Like, I think it would have gone 5-0. Like, I was quite optimistic for Blacklist going in, and I said that it would go the full 90, and I said it would be a 3-2. And they got lucky, I think, Blacklist, with their points. You know, they had that nice like defensive line. There wasn't any kind of like weird diagonals. Like, there's cover all the way for them to push right the way up to checkpoint and back again, kind of thing. And they basically got the best scenario for them of points, and Core just stamped them out like a cigarette. Do you know what I mean?
I remember speaking about this game last week, and a lot of people in the chat were saying Blacklist to win. In the chat, obviously the votes are a little bit, not backing it up, but a lot of people were thinking Blacklist was going to come out on top, or at least give Core a very, very tight game. But it sounds like Core just had a lot of experience in that game.
Listen, like, the thing is, Blacklist, like, they it's not even like they didn't have options on attack or something. Like, they had 2 garrisons up for most of the game on attack, like flanked around garrisons. Nobody spawned. They couldn't spare a man to spawn because they were under so much pressure all the time from that Core tidal wave. And there was one moment when they kind of pushed Core back from taking the final point. Mm-hmm. You know, they had like a last wind, and it was like watching it before a tsunami. When the ocean goes out, you think like, oh, maybe it's low tide. No, bro, it's the highest tide that's ever coming. And they came back so hard. And like I say, if their bombing run from Core was like a millimeter away from taking the garrison at the end, and if they'd taken that garrison, it was all over. But like that last little push across the open field, you kind of got wheat fields right the way up, and then you've got like a line, like an open field, and Core didn't manage to get past that. But like, I mean, they almost did at the end. They almost just capped it. Like, you could see them getting mad in the last like 3 minutes. And they were like, "Hey, should we just crush them now?" Like, and almost just pushed through the field and took it in the end. Like, but it was a great game. Like, don't get me wrong, Blacklist held them off as well as anybody I've seen in this tournament. But
Lee, do you have anything to add, or did you watch?
No, I totally agree. I mean, when you play against Core, you sometimes it's more important how long you stand up against them, not really how much did you lose, because I mean, and Blacklist has played, I think, against Core multiple times, so they knew what they're getting at. But for me, the key moment was probably after they kept checkpoint first. They kind of missed to get a good meat grind going on the frontal push. Core just went frontally the streets down and in the point. And I mean, if you can't push Core back, because, well, it's very hard to push Core back on a point, so at least try to keep a point. So I think that was, for me, the most key part in the game when they lost checkpoint and couldn't manage to get the frontal push of Core stopping.
Absolutely, I think you're totally right, and I think part of the reason for that, though, like to kind of stick up here for Blacklist, it's not like they didn't try. Like, their artillery got taken out. Their tanks were getting taken out. Yeah. Like, it's so hard to keep that meat grind going when you've still just got 76 like sitting in the back garden of checkpoint shooting you in the face. Like, and then another one up the road with a repair station next to it, and Core guys everywhere in every strategic building. Like, I mean, that would have been the way for them to win, but at the same time, like, would it be possible?
No. I mean,
Cannon Fodder Rob, Core, a really bad team. Just lots of cash to throw around.
Well, we've got Harold in
all
the
rigged,
chat, haven't we? We've got Harold in the chat. So just quickly to you, specifically, how was that game for you? Did you enjoy it? Are you happy with the 4-1, or would you have wanted that 5-0? Was you aiming for that 5-0? I know probably Garth Nixon, Schmidt Case has probably mentioned that right at the end, but how was that for you? And while he's typing, Core, in terms of votes, they had 131 for them to win, and Blacklist only had and 45. So again, the chat and the public are voting correct on this so far.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Core, you touched on it, Lee, earlier about saying how ESPT, you thought maybe like a third place in the tournament. I think maybe Core, it's fair to say, are like favourites to win.
Core
think they are.
WTH.
Come at me, what the hell, guys? Come at me. But
I'm already here. Don't worry, I'm coming.
yeah.
I mean, I think Core, after getting the second place in the last season, they are pretty berserk and on a beast mode to get the first place this year. So I'm really excited for the playoffs to see them there.
Yeah, for
It's gonna be
sure.
a tough
And
playoffs.
at the end of his stream, he was saying that like he's played with Core, and he said that like since he played with them, that they've concentrated on leveling up their shooters, leveling up their tanks, getting like just that next level to come into this one because they want to win. They are on beast mode now. Like you're absolutely right. Not saying anything about stuff like that.
Harold was
Not for you to say.
pretty certain that he was gonna, 100%. He would have won if it had not been for LePerry. So whether that's a compliment to Blacklist or I don't know, but at least he felt comfortable with that win, and he obviously is proud of him and his team to get through. And now that, I believe, is now the second team to go 3-0 into the playoffs.
That's
so
right.
Congratulations to both teams.
What the hell? And Core just sitting, chilling next week and the week after.
Yep.
Will they go snail? Will they be playing friendlies? This was something I asked one of the What the Hell players earlier, like because they played loads of friendlies before the main stage to warm up.
Yep.
Are they gonna go cold on the bench?
Ooh, no, these teams not going to playoffs. Not with how the tournament is being played. I do not think that each team will be lowering their standard. They want to keep it up. Third game. Let's jump on to the next one. It is 116 Greyhounds against the Line.
Yes.
Yes.
This is your game, Lou.
Is this yours?
Your game of the weekend.
Oh my god, it was. I loved that game so much. I mean, it got everything. If you want to just pick one match you want to rewatch this week, I would highly recommend this game. I mean, it has everything. Underdog winning. For me, the Line was an underdog. I mean, we played against both the Greyhounds and the Line multiple times, so for me, I kind of expected Greyhounds to win, but the recapping, holding the church multiple times, the Greyhounds got a huge attack going, and they managed to push it back. And the last push, and this Shed tank. I want to know the names, by the way. If anyone in the chat can tell me who drove that Panzer 4. It was crazy. I mean, as I said, we at STDB we watched the games and we just screamed at the screens because the last few ticks missing to Chapel again for the Greyhounds was just and the last defense was amazing. I think
that final defense was so just. It was like touch and go. Like you couldn't imagine them just screaming at each other. Like
was it as tight as the result was, or did they have like a big opportunity to win that game, but got denied by the opposition? How was it? Was it always for the whole length tight?
Well, 116 got the cap first, and then it changed hands, and then right at the end, 116 were literally like within the last 10 minutes, like Lee said, like about to take it back, and crazy defense inside the last 10 minutes to keep them off for the 3-2.
And I meant they had multiple situations where the Greyhounds, I mean, they had one airhead which went through with their smoke RT combination they like to play, and but the Line managed to fight them back again, and it was many times we thought, oh no, they're losing, oh they are capping, it's just was crazy match. Definitely big recommendation for me there.
So
approved.
Street for me has also said Mr. Do, Bossman, and Actrocity were in that tank. Now, On a little flip side to that, keep an eye on those three names. Just keep an eye on those three names.
Yeah.
Just remember
I,
those three names.
Yes.
I mean, I would say when I watched it, the Lion tanks made some really crazy but awesome move. I saw, I think we saw a Tiger or something, or also a Panzer IV just going through, what was it? I think a battery probably on the top, the second point for the Greyhounds. Just multiple times, just drove through that point, and I don't know. I had the feeling they just danced over the battlefield with their tanks, and the Greyhounds just couldn't quite manage to get this tank dominance going. And the
Yeah.
Lion really got used it their advantage for that. So it was great.
Yeah, for sure. So,
But also for the Greyhounds to fight back, even the last push. Also, I mean, great try, and it looked pretty good, but yeah, can't always work. But
yeah, I thought they might have got it, but like you say, it was that tank play at the end as well, and tank plays like on the sort of second to last point there as well. Like there's a really great moment on Mr. Nitro's stream because it was Guderian and Mr. Nitro. I don't know if we said as well. This took place on Utah Beach, so with the chapel as the middle point. So like tanks literally like all the way around in that ditch behind the chapel. But there's a great moment on Mr. Nitro's stream when a tank literally like pulls up to the garrison. Like a Panzer IV just like pulls up to their Gary like 5 feet away and just blows the whole spawn wave away, and then they're trying to like crawl away and people are like ducking away, and he gets another shot, kills the rest of them, and then just destroys the Gary and then just drives off. Like see like
Maybe we might see that later. Just throwing it out
hyping
there.
up.
Maybe we see that later.
Maybe people need to stick on the stream to see that. Maybe.
So the vote on that particular one was only 2 more points on the Greyhound name. So it was 118 to TL's 44. So
Yeah.
TL actually,
massive underdog.
Yeah, massive.
House says restart my cam or turn it off. It's pissing him off.
Yeah,
It's not my
We've
cam.
tried.
It's the chroma key on Connections OBS. I blame OBS.
You slowly.
You can just turn the chroma key off and then you'll just see my room. That's fine. I don't mind.
So let's have a little look.
Just to prove my camera is fine. I swear it.
This.
Boom. I mean, we could do it like that, but you won't be able to see
That's
anything
fine.
behind it.
Yeah. You can like keep me cropped.
What do you guys think? Pixel?
What would
Garth?
you rather? Pixel? No, Garth. There's going to be
or
loads
the
of people
Grinch
saying no,
Garth?
Garth in the chat.
Grinch Garth or Pixel Garth?
What job am I interviewing for? Caster. I'm interviewing for a slot on the recapping. How am I doing, guys?
Pixel. Everyone's thinking Pixel. So far, Pixel. Green. This is 2-1.
House Gangster, perfect.
That's 2-2. Pixel Garth.
Please make me go Pixel just to piss House off. Do you have any references we could call it? Yeah, about that. I'll give you a number and you can call it, and if the guy who answers sounds exactly like me, it's just a coincidence, okay? He's actually my ex-boss.
Get a pay rise.
Yeah.
Oh, we all need that right now, don't we?
Oh my god.
Fourth game.
I'll go off Gallon on it.
Casey, turn it off.
Right, I'm gonna
No.
delete this message.
No. Just put something in front of him for now. So next one is Trigger versus Tyrex. Trigger came out on top 3-2 on Hogan Forest. Trigger being allies, Tyrex being axes. We did have it on Space Bill, which is a Chinese caster. And the name has left me. If anyone knows what the streamer for that one was, I just had his link so you guys can watch it there. But also Strikeout was streaming that, and fantastic casting from him and for the Space Bill caster. Trirex actually capped first on the initial push, but instantly Trigger came back and capped it back because Trirex went straight away. It felt like they went straight away to Minga. Sorry, that's it. Minga. Thank you very much. Trirex, once they capped, they went straight on to the fourth point, and I think that they might have just overstretched themselves. They might not have, got that defense up as much as they wanted. They might not have got that garrison that they could have done with, but as soon as they capped, within minutes, I think they capped it on about around the 120. They recapped it back. So they Trirex were losing 2-3 then. For about 15 minutes, around the 50th minute mark, both teams actually started capping. So I believe it was Trirex that was capping first, then Trigger was capping it back. Trigger was leading the cap race, but got denied on their defense. So then that allowed Trirex to get in front. With the support of an airhead, they managed to catch up to about 80% of the cap. Then they got contested. Then the cap race was back on, and this is all within a few minutes. Trirex actually came away and done the cap, so it went back to 3-2 to them. Trigger came back in with the fight and recapped it again. So it went back. So in a space of about 5-6 minutes, it was to and fro. Both teams were umming and ahhing. Which do we defend? Do we attack? But when Trirex capped that third point, they went a little bit too soon, or they didn't have enough bodies to hold that, and then Trigger came back and recapped it within like minutes. It was ridiculous. Yes, and a 10-man OP with plus an airhead. They just had that little bit of a gap where they pushed into, and it was like the North Point. So I believe that's what's that North Point? North Pass. North Point. They just had a little bit on that river. That's probably where the airhead landed, just behind that little warehouse, and they just used it, spawned on it, capped the point, but that airhead wasn't alive for much longer once they did cap, and they had nothing to spawn on, and Trigger just came back and recapped it. Around the 40th minute mark, Strikeout had a little difficulty with his stream, so he had the 3D device not working, and then he had to update it, so he missed a bit of the stream, approximately about half an hour.
So annoying.
Yes, it's there's been a few people that have had that lately.
Yeah,
it's quite
crashing
annoying.
loads.
So unfortunate for him, but he came back, and that's positivity for him. He came back and he continued. He could have just went, what, fuck it, but he came back. So thank you very, very much for coming back. And in the last 10 minutes, this was quite interesting. On the 6th minute, Trigger started capping 50% of the fourth point, but then got contested and lost it. So they went back to 3-2. Then on the 4th minute, Trigger started capping again on the 4th, but just didn't quite succeed on that one. But yeah, 3-2 to Trigger, and I believe it was a late night one as well for one of the teams.
Yeah,
half one.
Quite possibly for the Trigger guys, because it was 6:30 p.m. like our time.
Yeah, I know with the time difference, especially with China and North America and stuff like that, there's a big difference. But I have to say thank you so much for the guys staying up. I know that there was a little bit of a huffle and puffle about that, playing so late. But it was a great game, and we can't thank you enough for playing that game in those circumstances. But yeah, big shout out.
Yeah, for sure. And a big shout out to all the Chinese teams, I think, as well, for coming and playing these games, and also for the teams that play against them, because obviously the way that the ban phase works, like, you know, you do sometimes have to pay on a server that's maybe far away, and that can affect your ping and things like this. And you know, it's not ideal, it's not perfect. If everyone wants to like donate a
Yeah,
bunch of money to the seasonal so we can get our own servers, then maybe we could get something going on. But for the moment, like, it is what it is. So like massive, you know, praise for people for just basically dealing with it and putting up with that.
exactly. Yeah.
So. But should we talk about the match predictions real quick from the general public? They thought that Trigger were going to win 110 votes to
Yes.
Trirex's 41.
Yes.
So in the end, they were right again. And like you say, Trigger almost took it to a 4-1 as well, possibly.
They were close.
But it was close in the end. But public right again.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with like Hague and Forest. You will either 5-0 it because it's got so much opportunity for you to throw an airhead, especially after you've capped and you're going from that third to the fourth point. But if you can't get that airhead landing and you're struggling to get away from that middle point onto the fourth, you're going to go all the way. So it'll either go 5-0 or it's going to be a very close game, and it definitely was a pretty close game for the majority of the game. The next one, I believe, is STDB and Finn Let Loose.
Oh, really? What a surprise.
Didn't see that one coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's your turn. Tell us all about your game.
Well, I think many people haven't seen coming our map pick at first. I think that's the first thing to start with, I guess.
Yeah, so you guys played in Stalingrad, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, pretty conscious decision there also. A lot of discussions, and Deep Poker told us that they kind of wanted us to play Karantan, and they kind of, he said that he hoped for a little gentleman's agreement to pick that one, but
You let him down.
but we felt that they wanted to bait us kind of, and
Wheel
I
you
mean,
in.
I mean, of course, it's not a good competitive match map in that sense, but if you play Axis, or at least I think everyone can agree that no one wants to play as allies, especially on Stalingrad. So
Yeah.
we kind of and we knew we had we had good tanks. We had that our tanks would have good position. We would have better weapons, and we never played it competitive before, but this kind of pick gave us a lot of courage or a lot of motivation in our team. Like everyone kind of played Stalingrad on public. Everyone looked at it, admin cam, flow around, looked for position. Our MGs searched pretty detailed where to put their MGs at. I mean, if you have seen clips of Shar, there was some amazing one. Watch Quicknicks or Mac Pimless stream for that, and of course it's FPS wise and stuff like that. It's not good at all, but at the end, it kind of worked. And I would say if you have the opportunity to pick Axis as on Stalingrad, why not?
Go for
it. And we will see in the future maybe what will happen if people want us to leave this option open. And otherwise, the game, we had a pretty good start. Then we were pretty good pushing out the mid cap and got Pavlov's house. I mean, Pavlov's house is a horrible, really just the worst second point you could get, especially on Axis. But we managed to cap it first, but we tried to kind of steam or to get a quick second cap on the last one, but it slowed down pretty quickly, and we kind of couldn't coordinate quickly enough to get control back around Pavlov's house, especially frontal. The meat grind just was missing, and they kind of went through our defense, and yeah, so we lost it sadly, and had a tough fight around the last around the mid cap, but I think we did well, and I think also the Finns did really well for having to play allies, and especially I have to say those pucks, not pucks. What's the English word? Anti-tank guns, AT guns, were really stressful and annoying part for our tankers, and also those red zone Garys always pretty annoying. They built like, I don't know, every time Quicknix opened the map, there was somewhere a red zone Gary, and our defense just had to always check every corner, our back lines, and yeah, that was pretty annoying. Yeah, and it was kind of scary because after we lost Pavlov's house, they had a red zone Gary up in the north on the border of the map kinda, and had a mass redeploy, but maybe not mass enough, so we could manage that quickly enough, but it was close. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Yeah.
So you guys will be picking that map from here on out, yeah?
We will see.
I mean, not many people, like you said, don't like playing it. So if you can
Well,
use it to your full advantage, I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's funny what you said earlier though about some of the teams in maybe the middle bracket. You know, they weren't looking to go through to the playoffs. They weren't playing to stay in the tournament. I wonder whether that would have been your first choice of map there if that was your game to go up or game to to go out kind of thing.
Sure.
But it's nice to see that the other maps do get in the rotation. We've obviously had a couple there now. We've had a couple of really good Purple Heart Lane games as well. Haven't seen a Kursk coming out yet. I don't think we probably ever will. I haven't seen any Hill 400s. But
we will maybe see a Hill 400 game this week. So,
indeed.
But we will get to that later.
We'll get to that in a moment.
So the vote on that one was 129 to STDB and 65 for Finn Let Loose.
Yeah,
so not
and I
bad.
I did call it last week. STDB for the win. Finn Let Loose. You know, I'm their mascot or something, like they're my team. You guys have had a real interesting journey coming from the qualifiers. Like, you know, for those people that don't know, SCDB, your background isn't, you haven't been around very long, right?
We declare as this team is about 2 years old now.
Spring 2020, right?
Yeah, in the Corona pandemic, first lockdown in Germany. It was founded by just a few people who just like to play together in this little Steam group, and from there on it just grew and grew and grew over time. And I joined in last year in summer. Before that, they already participated in the cooperations with like Pi, STTB on the Greyhound Cup.
And you won the Summer Cup, right, with 116?
No, the Greyhound Cup. Yeah, the Greyhound. And Summer Cup we played together with the Greyhounds and got third place. And before that, I think there was this co-op called NADL or NADL in. They also participated in this season, I think. And and from a small group, pretty we always have a mix of, just regular normal players who just want to play more coordinated and a competitive area. And through the years, it kind of evolved more and more and focused more and more on the competitive side. We managed last year to get our own 50 man crew going, and from there on we just played a lot of games, power through, and prepared for this
This is your
season.
first seasonal as SCDB solo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you guys came into the qualifier. You had a game against the trio in the first round. I forget all of the members of the trio now. Is it 91 PZG? Oh my god, I can't remember them all now. 91 PZG, GR3, and 38.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you played against them in that first round.
That was a 5-0, right?
And got the win.
Yeah. It was also a crazy. If you also want to rewatch a match, a old match, this one is also kind of a good recommendation because it got very intense the second half. I can tell you that we all sweated and shaked at the end.
For sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, like I was just going to say about some of those old matches as well. Like on the seasonal Discord, they're all there under replays from this. Like we've been really, really lucky this seasonal to have so many casters being able to cast all the games, and they're all there for you to go back and watch. They're all like they're not disappeared off of Twitch after the VODs go down. People have put them up on YouTube, but they're all there for you to go back and look at. So you can go back and look at that game and all the others from the qualifiers as well. But then you guys went on to play ERF, right, in the next round.
Yeah. I think from there on, we had our little, in German you would say holprigen Start, or kind of, I don't know how to, not the best start, but after that we just, I think we played very well. And I'm looking forward for the next matches. I mean, it's always exciting, and a lot of things to learn from that. I mean, we also played solo in the German Cup last year, and I mean the German community is pretty competitive. I mean, we have 4 big teams playing, and the fifth one sadly got kicked out in a qualifier, but also I think got kind of bad luck at the spinning wheel. But it is how it is, and so we also trained there a lot, and
for sure you came third in that, right?
Yeah, and we came third. I think I mean Phoenix and us, we need a third game, final first game to decide who's better, but I would say, of course, totally neutral, that we are maybe the third strongest team after the Greyhounds, and of course after Core on the top.
Definitely.
And I have one more question really about SCDB.
Sure.
Who does your graphics? Like they're so cool,
posters,
dude.
Man. It's ridiculous.
We also have a merchandise shop for everyone who wants to maybe get a nice hoodie with my logo on and in a cool red. And
I want that.
The guy who's designing all this is called Genosse, or how many English-speaking people say Genosi.
Okay. Genosse. I will try and remember it next time I see him.
I think you should put it on the seasonal general chat. Just drop it there.
He's everywhere.
Like your for those of you who aren't a member of the SCDB Discord and stuff like that, like they have like their graphics like around their logo, like with the multicolor things all like moving and like oh my god, like it's so cool. I love your design there as well. I mean, shout out, to be fair, like we haven't said this at all so far, but like a massive shout out to all of the people who put in all this time and effort on the graphics for all of these, like the design for all the teams. So they're so good. Like there's a few that I can think of that are really cool. Trirex is so cool. The Trigger one, dude. Oh my god. Like that dragon is so sick. Like there's some absolute just crazy logos out there. Like that new Blacklist one, I love it with the little raccoon. That's so cool. Like they just look real like mean, some of them. That 116 just looks so like evil. The Greyhounds.
I like UFR's updated one. How it was.
Oh yeah, with the bear. Yeah. So, like, massive shout out to all of the
Yeah.
designers throughout this tournament and like involved in how Let Loose competitive in general. Because like, there's some absolutely sick designers out there who deserve a lot of credit. I think. Um,
Did I do the vote count on that one?
we didn't.
No. So S did be 129 to Finn Let Loose 65. So that was probably be the closest in terms of no. That
It's one of the closer ones so
it's one of
far,
the closest so far. Yeah. But yeah, public vote.
but still a
Collective
clear
vote.
favourite there. Still clear favourite, and I think probably fairly. Finns Let Loose, they've had their own journey, which has been really interesting to watch. But you guys have like really like you've knocked it out of the park in that first round of the main stage. You were the first team. You were the only team from qualifiers to win.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's not minor.
Yeah, we feel pretty honored, and yeah, we hope to get in the playoffs. But we will get to that later
Yeah.
Mhm.
when we speak about the next games. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm pretty proud of our performance. I mean, we have a strong core of, I would say, about 20, 30 long-term headed loose players and experienced comp players. But we also got a lot of new people and mixed together and kind of managed to develop a play style and which works and which gave us a lot of nice games and victories. So I hope, yeah, we will continue with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Game 6 was EG taking on 82 AD. That was myself and Will 67. Thank you very much for Will for jumping in very, very last minute. It's a great little addition to the casting squad that we've got. What a game. Oh, what a game. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was, fantastic, butt crunching, sweaty, everything that you wanted in the game. We had it there and then. I think EG had the best start they could have ever hoped for. The middle point was Chapel, so it was a fair game for both teams. On the run up, so when the barriers go down and everyone's in their transport trucks, the supply trucks, and they're going towards Chapel, who goes down first from an RT? 82 AD transport truck, boom, gone. Seconds later, a tank takes out the second transport truck for 82 AD. So two transport trucks full of people went down right at the beginning. That allowed EG to get right up into Chapel as close as possible. Very, very well. Luxel got his team straight back in it. And started pushing, kind of like that down southwest side of that area where we all know they're going to get a garrison. EG already anticipated that, so they already were putting pressure onto that building. Took about 10 minutes for EG to cap it. It was a bit to and fro, but obviously EG with that first upper hand did solidify the first point. Artie throughout the game was perfect from EG. Pinpoint accuracy, absolutely spot on. But EG they did what Trirex did. They went to the next point a little bit too soon. Yeah, bearing in mind it was only one team, one squad, but against 82 AD, you need to make sure that your defense is strong. And he pushed up a little bit too high, which allowed 82 AD to recap it and go 3-2 up. And that was around the 1 hour 10 minute mark. And then from then on, Luxel and his team defended that map like it was theirs. They were defending a country. It was ridiculous. They had people in WN4, WN7. It was all the way up. And I remember just going through the admin cab, left to right, just going through, and there was no gap whatsoever between top to the bottom of the map. And it was great work. Luxor were getting a lot of players onto that hill 5 because he knows that EG would want to work from that particular area if they want to go into chapel. So he managed to control that for a long part of the game. But EG were just not that they were not good. They had a fantastic game, but they were just couldn't find the spark. They couldn't find the gap. They couldn't find some jazz, you know. But what they didn't have in an hour, they built it up in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, all that luck, all that gap, you know, all that fighting was in that last 10 minutes. And
luck. So
yeah, Sitch managed to Sitch and the Artie, they were like Siamese twins, you know. They were working together. They were thinking the exact same. And where there was smoke, there was Artie, there was an airhead. And he managed to get just a little bit above Chapel. He threw down a load of smoke with an airhead. And they were pushing from literally that little mini river above Chapel. And they were pushing. And it was getting to about 5 minutes. They were pushing. 4 minutes. They were pushing. And you can just see that 82 AD players were coming from the backside and, you know, the west side of Chapel, and they were trying to get in to the actual church, but Artie, boom, they were taking out everything. It was ridiculous. But who came to save the day? I'm going to blow his balls. Luxor. Yeah.
Blow his balls.
I'm gonna say it. I have to, because it's probably the best bombing run I've seen. You know, I know that we had, I believe, Logical Lee, you had the best bombing run that I saw in your last game, because you got 21. But he did. We know that Luxor, and I remember saying, Luxor will wait. He hasn't done an airhead for the whole game, and he uses it to help him defend. Yeah, and he did that around the 4 minute mark. So when it landed at around 3:30, he already was going to get reinforcements, and then he bombed the top bit, and it just took out a load of players. And I knew there was going to be a cap or at least a contestment, but with that, he managed to save it, and it was one of them. I was on the edge of the seat. It was fantastic. It was a brilliant ending to the game. But I have to admit, and I've said this as well, you know, the tanking in that team. So the Artie for EG side were the best that I've seen. You know, they were the best, like, in that game. But the tanking for 82 AD were impeccable. I remember behind that main building near Chapel, they had 3 repair stations. And he says he has the cheek to say he was looking for 4. 3's enough, you know. I've never seen 3 repair stations, but as soon as he'd done that that bombing run, straight after, all the tanks literally just came out of nowhere. 2 Tigers, 2 Panzers were pushing over Chapel, and they were going, and they were just like breezing them up. So it was an impeccable game, and I loved it. And you can probably see by the way I'm talking, I loved that game. So wow, and yeah, blew his balls.
Literally blew his balls.
But yeah, fantastic game, and I think thoroughly deserved.
I definitely have to give Luxel also a shout out as a commander myself. I mean, bombing runs. I mean, this one was I would say 1 in a 50, 100 or something like that bombing run, because it's always the thing you have as a to set up a bombing run. You have to know the hard cap pretty good. You have to know where are they coming from. You have to kind of also have this time delay from activating the bombing run to actually bombs dropping, and to get everything together. A good effective bombing run is not always that easy, and just not by itself alone. But this one, just by itself, just was at the right time, the right amount of people, and also from setting the right angle. I mean, also a hard challenge, because my bombing runs where I got like 21 kills or so, this was in that sense pretty easy because it was Saint-Mont. The streets was on a perfect angle, because sometimes you get the problem where the bombing one just somehow only get the 90-degree angle or 45th angle, but not you cannot circle around at all. And so it was kind of easy to know, okay, there will be the enemy, there are the trenches, there's the street, there's the hard cap, so pretty easy. But this one just was chef's kiss. I have to say, I came when I saw that bombing one dropping bodies everywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh,
The vote on that one was 51 to EG and 121 to 82 AD. So once again, community got it right. I think they've only got one wrong, which was the 116 and TL game. I am probably gonna quit my life now, and that will be my meme, wouldn't it? Blew his balls.
It's amazing.
So next one is UFR taking on Phoenix, and that one was Nasbrook and Captain Cap Dutch. I think I said that correct. Sorry.
Deutsch.
Phoenix almost capped first, but UFR slightly held right at the beginning, but Phoenix come out on top, so it was quite a close one at the beginning. I'm too sure which particular way it was going to go, but Phoenix did come out on top, so they went straight away 3-2. It was constant fighting in and around, I believe it's AA Network. I'm pretty sure that was a point. I believe that was the name of it anyway. A lot of fighting going on there, so they couldn't really get anywhere between that third point and that second point for Phoenix. Once they did cap it, which was on the around the halfway mark. Sorry, half an hour mark. So on the hour, believe Phoenix managed to cap that fourth point, and they were just putting pressure and pressure and pressure straight on to the last point, which was called the field, which was right in the corner. But UFR absolutely defended it very, very well. And, for one whole hour being 4-1, easily you could have given up, but obviously they knew that it's a fight of the death, and they tried to go on. But when you're tucked away in a corner against any team, it's very, very difficult for you to come out, and Phoenix just kind of got the better and pushed them away. Very, very unlucky from UFR on particularly how the tournament has gone from them. They've had some really, really tough teams, and any other game they might have come out on top. They might have actually gone a little bit further in the tournament. So it's quite sad that we're seeing the first team go away. But Phoenix just dominated and just didn't give UFR any movement to maneuver, and they just struggled. I think my particular opinion, I want to say. But yeah, Saint-Marie de Mont, Phoenix 4-1, unfortunately, and yes, that is the first team out of the -2 nils. So Phoenix still in it, but will they be here next week? We don't know just yet.
I hope so. German teams all the way.
Yeah. So the vote on that one was actually just 35 to... Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. 35 to UFR and 120 to Phoenix. So that was the biggest gap that we have seen between 2 points. So a clear victory in the eyes of the public for Phoenix, but it wasn't as led on as it was. UFR done a very, very good hold on that game. You guys have anything on UFR Phoenix? If not, I'll jump on to How Let Loose.
Only just to say that UFR, I think it's important to point out that they started in the main stage, and by going out at this stage in the tournament, they may very well not be in the main stage next time around. So they'll be in the qualifiers, back down in the sticks, having to fight their way up next time out. So serious consequences for them for this game, really. And I think they probably struggled a little bit to get going in this tournament. Obviously, they lost against the very powerful SCDB, and they've kind of struggled from there, really. So hopefully they can come back like stronger next time around, but they will probably
100%.
have a harder journey.
Yeah, and I definitely want to see them in the next, I think it's called the 40s now. I believe that's what it was the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see, because they've got nice gap, they can probably do a little bit more training, really solidify the tournament and tournament pressure and come back and show what they're actually really made of and show that it wasn't just bad luck, it was pure tournament and pure skill that they can get further in this tournament.
I mean, they've had a rough draw against
They
SCDB,
have.
G, and then Team Phoenix. But, hopefully, like you say, they can come back sort of even stronger next time around. So,
and then finally the last game, HLL Poland CC against 501 ES and Bastardo Boys. Did anyone of you watch that game?
yes, quite a quick one. 501st kind of taking advantage of, I don't know, maybe let's say like more tank skill, probably get better comp game knowledge, I guess, for like the pretty rapid 5-0 down on Utah Beach. And that was, Hello Loose Poland and CC, they go out of the tournament in this game, but what a way to go out. Unfortunately for them, they kind of just got, I don't know, beaten up a little bit, really. It was tricky for them right from the start. It was WN7 the center point, and 501st took it. And WN7, one of the more difficult points to kind of counter attack it's quite like defensible because of those automatically spawned barbed wires and stuff like that. It's right out on the edge of the map, so one whole flank of it is hard to get around. And I think like once they won their first heavy tank battle and the Tigers took out the Tiger took out the 76, that was really, where it all started to kind of I don't know. It obviously started to go wrong when they lost WN7, but it was like really not happening for Hello Loose Poland and CC after they lost that first Tiger, and after they lost the first 76. Sorry, and the Tiger literally it like chased the tank down. Like they knew, and this is what I mean about game strats. Like they knew that by killing that tank, they were going to be able to basically have freedom to push their infantry, and yeah, they smoked out well. 501st, they used their artillery well to smoke out on Hill 5, and somebody got a spot on the garrison, I think, out the back of Hill 5, and it was the only place that the Poles were kind of spawning. The Polish were spawning in there, and they just got smashed by the RT on their Gary, which was pretty brutal to see. And then I think they thought that they could probably counterattack on Hill 5 quite quickly, but unfortunately that meant that down at Red Roof House, they didn't have it. I think it was Red Roof House. I forget. There's two houses, aren't there?
Yeah, Red Roof and you're thrown out there.
And the other one, yeah, it might have been the other one. The one that's like right down in the south, and basically, not Red Roof House, the bottom one, exactly. Yeah, the other one, the other house, not House Gangster or Red Roof, the other one. So they basically didn't allow enough people to defend, and then just got like pushed off it. I've got to check this map.
Yeah, I'm
like it's literally pissing me off so much that I can't remember this. Give me 1 second, guys. Somebody in the chat's going to beat me to it.
flooded.
No, shut up.
It's flooded.
Get out of here, Uncle
Is
Red.
it flooded? Uncle Red.
Uncle Red.
Oh, it's the Uncle Red house then. Is it?
Yeah, it's not a house, but it is a red Okay,
No
so
wonder why I was baffled.
yeah. So yes, they just didn't leave enough people to defend Uncle Red, and in the end, they had a tiger pushing right down that southern edge of the map. They had that, like if you kind of picture Uncle Red, it's got that sort of southern. You've got the sand dunes like right there on the Ally side, and then it's right down on the south. You've got that kind of open grass edge with like some bush cover, and they put a garrison down there. And in the end, they had 2 tigers inside Uncle Red. The unfortunately the enduring image of the way that Hell Let Loose Poland left this tournament this year is the sand dunes literally crawling with 501st guys, with BST2 guys, with tigers on the beach. Like,
Oh,
that's not how you want to go out.
yeah.
But at the same time, like, they've had what you might call like a baptism of fire a little bit here this time around. And I think we've said this before about their team, like they belong here, and it's something that I think that they can capitalize on and turn around, and next time come through a lot stronger.
100%.
Whether they're with CC or whether CC are alone, or Hell Let Loose Poland are alone, or whatever. Like, I think it's been a real valuable learning experience, and if they can kind of take that the right way, I guess, and build from it, then they're like this year's Finn Let Loose of last seasonal, and look where the Finns are this time around. Really like fighting it out with the big guys. So
it's good, very very good. Public votes on that one was only 17 to Hell Let Loose Poland and CC, but 121 to 501 Bastardo Boys. Not much I can say about that one.
yeah, I mean, well, Hell Let Loose Poland have not had the best track record throughout the tournament, but I think, did they have one win against Lost Legion and
Barbed Wire Collectors Club? Lost Legion and Barbed Wire Collectors Club, I believe it was.
And then they got through because BWR dropped out as well. And like Luxel says, Spaniards are a really good team. They've been around ages. They've got lots and lots of experience. They've got great players. They've got lots of comp knowledge. And that's what I was saying before. Like, it's a bit of a mismatch in a way for Hell Let Loose Poland. And it's kind of an unfortunate twist of fate for BSC2 and 501st that they ended up in this situation in the first place, playing to stay in. But, like, they won emphatically, and they're going to be coming into the next round, like, just wanting to kind of keep that, get another little streak going. They've had some unfortunate results and some unfortunate draws and some close ones as well. So I think they definitely they're a great team and deserve the win 100%. But Hell Let Loose Poland, thanks for coming. See ya. Same as UFR. See you next time, guys. And that's the brutal truth of this tournament. Like, someone's got to go out.
Yeah.
So
100%. Lee, anything to add?
I think the Polands really had a rough rough enemies. I mean, they are I don't know how long they existed, but probably not that experienced and stuff, and they probably more small community, so they just need time.
They're like the Finns Let Loose last seasonal and the full seasonal, where they kind of, this was like their first big comp attempt kind of thing, their first, like, their christening into it, their baptism. And they've had a real, like, a bumpy ride. In their first draw they played the line. No one wants that. 100%. Okay, Bundeswehr, they ended up dropping out, but Hell Let Loose Poland and CC versus Bundeswehr would have been a great game.
Sure.
Then they came through and they won against Lost Legion Barbed Wire Collectors Club to go through to the main stage. Like, they deserve to be in the main stage. Like, there's a very good chance they would have just won an actual game against Bundeswehr as well. Then when they get through into the main stage, first game they play is against 82 AD, one of the most established, long-standing, decent teams, like solid team, been in it ages, and then they played against their future selves in Finns Let Loose, and Finns Let Loose as well. You got to remember, coming straight off the back of a 30-minute loss to Blacklist, they were pissed off. and they just wanted to like steamroll and crush How Let Loose Poland, and their whole game and mindset was like, right, we want to win this at all costs, and they just came all guns blazing. It wasn't like that's a middle round game. That's a 0-1 game. That could be a bit of a like, maybe we do like a meme map. No, they just wanted to crush them. Like they aim to crush them in the ban phase. They aim to crush them in the game, and then they come through and they have to play one of, again, a real long-standing, almost top-tier team in 501st and ESP and BST2. Like, so they've had a real rough ride, and like I say, a bit of a baptism of fire. They could have definitely come up against easier teams. I mean, for example, imagine if in that first round of main stage, instead of playing 82 AD, they played against UFR. Different game.
Different.
I would say just train hard, gain hard, and we will see them wrecking the competition next season.
100%.
Absolutely.
So there we have it. They are the 8 games that we had last weekend. They are the results. There are the streamers, the casters that had those games. So if you feel like you want to go watch some of those games, I know that we went kind of over in detail with it, but if you feel like you want to watch it start to finish, go jump on those. You have all the details right there. We will just quickly go through how that actually sums up the tournament quite recently. So we're going to have a little look at previously, and I think a lot of people might be saying to get rid of Garthnix. Are we saying goodbye to Garthnix?
You can either put me as the cam, or you can get rid of me. I'm fine.
I'll just put you
on
the background. Want me here,
have I failed my interview?
No.
Cannon Fodder Rob said earlier that
let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. But what I'll do is I'll just put you up here
Luxor
for a
has to
split
say
second.
You can that's what I actually look like, guys. It's not snowing here in southern England.
Just so your eyes can adjust.
I don't actually have insane dandruff. I swear to God. Like mustache dandruff.
So this is the kind of the layout. So WTH and Core go through 3-0. We've got a little lineup to go through this next weekend. We'll jump on that very, very shortly. But it is a big farewell to UFR and Hell Let Loose Poland and CC. So thank you very much for competing in this tournament, and we really, really hope to see you very, very soon in the next tournament. Stats. Let's quickly look at these stats that we got. Now, everyone can just focus on the stats right now. All cams off, because this is probably my favourite part of the recapping. Let's have a little look at the last week's stats combined firstly. So just I want to say a big thank you to everyone that participated in this tournament. Just look at these for numbers. 785 people just playing last weekend. 22,915 kills.
Yeah,
430.
That's low.
Team kills. I know it's
normally it's like 30k.
Oh, but that was
people have been going easy this week.
Yeah. But just look at the satchels. 37 friendly satchel kills, 176 friendly arty kills, 66 vehicle friendly kills, and road kills, meaning you've run over your own player, is 27.
27 to 22 enemy road kills.
Yes.
Let's say that again. Like over half of the road kills this weekend were friendly team kills.
Yeah.
So I kind of have this problem where, like, I do wonder sometimes whether the devs of this game actually ever play the game. And they've made some recent changes to the vehicle movement and stuff that made me kind of think, like, why? Like, you turn the engine off now in the truck, and the truck keeps going for like 5 miles, and runs over every guy that's just jumped out of it.
Yeah, especially
kill switch.
Yeah,
exactly.
So let's have a little look at that left side of that screen. Last week's top killer per game. So there'll be one person from each team who got the most kills. starting off with WTH and BSP, OP, BHP.
I'm guessing Reformed
Said
Gamer.
that completely wrong. We have got Reformed Gamer 65
Oh, mate, I called it.
and Don Vice 64. Now, the last time I hosted the recapping, Reformed Gamer was up top again, but he had 64 kills. So he's improving. He's improving. So fantastic play to those two there.
When you're that good, the margin of improvement can only be small. Do you know
Yes,
what I mean?
100%.
Question: is it always just infantry or?
Oh yes,
is it-
just infantry.
Okay, okay.
Yes, just infantry. I'm not including RT because
Sometimes we do RT, sometimes we do tanks and stuff, so
Yeah.
it kind
Yeah.
of like changes different
Okay.
week on week. Tanks are really hard though, because when we get the stats through, it doesn't tell us who the tank
Yeah.
squads are,
No.
and unless every single community basically sends us like who exactly is in their
Yeah.
tank squads, like it's really hard with only the
Yeah,
channel we have.
sure.
So
We'll
Sure.
jump onto tanking.
next season we'll do the show on a Friday, and then we'll have loads of time to prepare. We'll give you all the stats.
Yeah.
Game 2, Core versus Blacklist. We have Lucky One 97 with an MO on Garand, and Blacklist Kissy Dub with 77 for the STG. And I just did forget to just quickly.
That's
Reformed
That's
Gamer-
up there, guys, with one of the highest that we've had so far of infantry kills. I think maybe the highest is like 98, 99 perhaps, that we've had like so far in the tournament. So that's enormous. So massive shout out to Lucky One there for coming in with like one of the top sort of combat effectiveness as an infantryman for the
Yeah.
whole tournament so far.
Walking artillery, I would say.
Yeah, literally, don't get in his way.
Just forgot to put their actual guns there. So congratulations to everyone there. We have next 116 Greyhounds against TL. Streets with 94 with a G43, and Offman with a 83 with an M on Garand.
Yes. Well, when we were saying earlier how crazy that game was,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that says it all, really, doesn't it?
Wrong again. Wrong.
Get your Archon 2 right,
I
okay?
had 114 in the trigger trials. But what squad? What was he playing?
Have you done it by the gun or by the full squad?
Wait, he was.
Oh, the full kills.
Trigger versus Trirex. I haven't even done Trigger versus Trirex yet.
Right, let's ban him.
Trigger and TL haven't even. No, 116 in the.
Gecko says, look at the stats again. I mean, you don't have to be so cryptic. You just help him out.
Trigger
Be a mate,
versus
Gecko. Be a mate.
Yeah, but he's saying Trigger and TL.
Is he saying that he got more kills? Because I'll ban him.
Yeah,
Even
but
if it's true.
Could have more.
Streets, what are you saying? Because Trigger and versus TL weren't playing against each other. Trigger was playing Trirex. 116 was against TL.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't worry
you
about
look
it.
at the stats. Boom.
It's just
Mic drop.
It is what it is. This is the official. Yeah, like I know you guys can see the stats from Abusify. Shout out to Abusify, by the
Yeah.
way, for doing all these stats as always. I know you guys can see it, but don't forget this is the official
Stats
list. Yeah, so like whatever
Yeah.
known connection types on the screen, you just have to
Ah.
imagine that was balls, and you just have to blow it. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
on about the whole tournament. Yeah, this is just last
Oh
week's.
yeah.
Just last week.
Okay, so 111 is the top so far. Thank you though, because I couldn't remember what it was.
Trigger versus Trirex. We have Hyperon, 81 with an M on Grand. And if you're from Trirex, is that the real numbers? Is that his name? Numbers? 765611.
No way.
That's
Is
how
that
it-
the guy's actual name?
That's how it come through on the stats. I'm probably got that one wrong.
Yeah,
but he got
you just
75
give
with it.
You've just doxed him.
yeah, maybe.
That's his social
So-
security number.
Oh shit. Or it's a Steam ID.
I-
Could be.
I don't know, but
Could be.
everything else come through normally.
He's changed his
It's
name
just that
since
one.
the game.
So, I mean,
Hyperion though always smashes it.
well,
He's an absolute killer.
everyone add that Steam ID and say hello.
Yeah, you can be friends now.
STDB versus Finn Let Loose.
That's us, I think.
Marsmic, 87 with an MG42.
Yeah, he's
And
okay.
Mukbeka, 77 VT as well. Fantastic.
He's okay.
Yeah, he can do better. I mean, not his best performance, but
Yo, that's the attitude. That's the attitude you need to be as successful as STDB. I hope you guys are taking notes. 87 kills with MG42.
not
could do
enough for
better.
the medal. Yeah, not enough for the medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got EG versus 82 AD. Thorpe, 90 STG. And Mortamillan again on here with 52.
Both of them. They've made it every week so far, I think.
Yeah. Sniper, I believe. I believe he is. Fantastic player.
Yeah.
We've got UFR against Phoenix. Now this is fantastic. Phoenix APK 91, Phoenix Kaiser MTBB 98 as well. So both players, got 96 with an M1 Garand. Jesus.
Oh my
god. And then
god.
Fratigalis 64 with the car. And again, Kaiser is up here. Brilliant.
All the people who are like recruiters for these different communities, they just take notes on this section of the show, man. They're just like, right, who do we need to poach?
Last game, How Let Loose, Poland and CC versus 501 Bastardo Boys. Franuel for 501 for 53 with the G43, and Verbati with 23 with an M1 Garand. So fantastic.
How long was that game?
Not
that was
long,
a quick
like
one. That was a half an hour.
40 minutes, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't go. It was the only that one, and WTH was the 5-0s. So, but yeah, fantastic kills on there. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Quicknick's absolutely right, of course, and this is the disclaimer we have to say. Like the stats are basically just for fun. It is very true that in Hell Let Loose, it's not just about like how many kills you got. It's all about the impact of the kills that you get, and like a kill from sitting in a bush half the game in an irrelevant sector is nothing compared with a kill of a guy on an OP that you then take, or to defend your own OP, or shooting their commander just as he's about to drop the bombing run, or whatever. Like it's not how it works, but we just do it for fun, guys. So
us two had a game together a few weeks back, and it was WTH against I can't remember. I want to say 116, but I don't. But it was on St. Mary de Mont, and the guy was just chilling by the barbed wire for about 15 minutes. I can't remember his name, but he got up here, but he didn't really impact the game. So
it wasn't really that much of an impact.
Fun. Yeah, just a bit of fun.
And the deaths as well. Like we're looking at victims in a minute, but like last week we talked about Groot from Trigger. Like we're talking about people in the chat talking about the meat grind. Sometimes the number of deaths you have and the pure fact that you press escape and redeploy and you come back and you die again and again and again and again is actually more important probably than getting so many kills.
We had one last week. What was it? 30 kill streak, death streak or something like that? 30,
yes. Well, so he had 123 deaths.
Oh yeah,
I think
for the game.
To explosives. Was it, or was it for the game? And then like even more for the game. And we worked out that if it's like 10 seconds to like redeploy and whatever, the guy spent like 40 minutes in the death screen, and he still pressed redeploy, and he still came back, and he still ran forward, and he still somehow in all of that managed to get like 25 kills as well. So
fantastic.
Korati last week was fucking disgusting.
So next one is last week's top kill streak, top of the center circle. Again, it's only infantry because we all know it will be the RTs or the tanks that will be dominating this playfield. But in third place we have Greyhounds with 19 kill streak, and that goes to Offenman. Offerman with a 19 kill streak on a tournament level. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. Out of 83 total kills. One animal.
It's always open, man.
Next one, we have Phoenix with 20 kills, and that goes to Borny. Borny with 20 kills streak on his game. First place goes to Finn Let Loose with 21 kills, and that also goes to Makupika.
Ooh, nice.
So
Good job.
yeah, very
Solid.
nice. You know,
With the SVT.
Yeah.
now
Just mashing people up.
so next up we have got top tankers. So I've managed to quickly find out who was in the tanking squads for this. I'm pretty certain that these are correct because they've come from the team reps themselves. But in third place for last week, top tanking squad goes to Core with a combined kills. So that includes the spotter and air and the driver. Everyone in that tanking squad got 61 kills, and it is Gold Dragon, Rottermeyer, and Jetty. Fantastic.
Yeah, the
61.
tank kills from that squad, they had like 3,900 combat effectiveness.
Very
Something
nice.
stupid. It was crazy.
Good job.
Second place, it goes to Core again with 63 kills. And in that squad, it was George Lee, Gray, Team Machine.
Nice.
Maybe it was this one
Yeah.
that was 3,200, and then the other one was like 2,900. The core tanks were just incredible. As I said earlier when I was
Ridiculous.
describing the game, like
First place for the last week's top tanking squad is TL
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
with a
Blue.
whopping 111 kills.
Oh, that's...
Bossman, Mr. Do, and Arctic City.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a tank. And you were mentioning that earlier on your game,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Well deserved.
Yeah, definitely well deserved and fantastic play. So if you're against TL or even Core, because they got two of the
Yeah.
best tankers last weekend on there.
We kind of hope for to get a match with TL in the season because we have a third game open to decide who's better because they won one time and we won one time, so we need a tiebreaker. But we will see. Maybe next time.
Luxor, you were saying about what about vehicle kills? Are they factored in? I believe that they are because they have the infantry inside. I don't think Abusify is in the chat right now, but if he is, just send us a little message. Are the kills acknowledged with a tank or a truck kill? I'm pretty sure they are. I don't see why they wouldn't not be. But yeah. So congratulations to all of those tanking squads up there.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Definitely.
yeah. Oh, they are perfect. Now for the best part, and I love this. It's a little name and shame, and I'm really sorry if you're ever shown on this
featured.
featured. But last week's top victims goes to third place is Greyhounds. 17 times. 116 Phil killed TL Mage 17 times. Wow.
Sorry, Mage.
Sorry. In second place, we have ESPT BHP OP with 18 kills to the person. Is Overlord killing WTH Jagged 18 times. Wow. So yeah, obviously, like Quick Nix is saying, Recon maybe. I'm not too sure. Majors was on RT, yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
it's
kind of
often
each,
it's
yeah,
often arty camping for the top
yeah,
victims, but that's the price you pay for
yeah.
being an arty guy.
hmm
We all everyone hates an arty guy, so
Oh yeah.
First place goes to Finn Let Loose again with 24 kills. Makupika killed Ragnar from STDB 24 times. And Lee, what was Ragnar doing? What was his position?
Ragnar was artillery mainly.
Of course. So they
strange.
were
So
RT
yeah.
guys.
Strange. And Makupika had the SVT-40 and got
Yes.
77 kills and a
Yes.
21 kill streak. So yeah,
So, yeah.
weird that.
Strange.
But there are the stats, thank you very much for Abusify for getting them all in and doing all of this. Thank you obviously to the team reps for sending the logs in time, because that makes our life easier and that gives you perfect stats to look at. But yeah, wow, fantastic stats there. And congratulations if you're on it as well. Big shout out. Shall we have a little look at what's coming up tonight? This weekend, yeah?
Let's do it. And then we'll finish with some clips.
Finish with some clips.
And then everyone can go to sleep.
So,
unless you're in China.
Lee, I want to get your thoughts on this. So we will go through each game, and I want a chat as well to come through and say who do they feel like will win. Don't jump ahead. Let's just stick with it so we can get kind of a gist of how people are currently feeling between these games. So, Trigger versus 82 AD. Lee and Garthnix, what do you think?
Well, let's start by saying that the bandwave's been completed. Saint-Marie de Mont is the map. Trigger is Axis. 82 AD is Allies.
Okay.
Pretty fair map. I would say because Trigger for me sometimes is a kind of surprise package, but I think Trigger is pretty good. They are a pretty solid team, keeping up their lines and just keep on pushing and running, and I kind of think a 3-2 for Trigger on that one, but of course I'm rooting for the underdog, kind of.
For me, I think that
underdog?
Saint-Marie de Mont massively favours the Allies in general.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that House, I can't move my cam. It's about the cropping. I can sit.
Oh
over
my
it the other
god,
way.
House.
He's on the thing. Which way am I going? This way. So I think the map, generally speaking, there are some points the middle point. What is it? AA. That kind of favors the. Well, that's pretty even. But I feel like the others, like Pierre's Farm as a center point, massively favors the Allies. Perhaps on the other side, it slightly favors the Axis. But in terms of the other points, so if the Allies win the middle point, most of those second and third, the deeper points for the Axis suck. Yeah. And I think that if they can get a good cap on a lucky draw, if they get Pierre's Farm and then it's Saint-Marie de Mont Church, for example, 82 AD can be all over that and kill wave after wave after wave after wave of Trigger player, and just sit on it. I'm
gonna blow his balls. 82 AD.
Good one.
Could you try again?
Oh. And suddenly Siri decides to start working. Siri wants to
Shut
get
up,
involved.
Siri.
Who will win?
She wants
Siri.
to double up. Blacklist versus STDB.
It says he feels like Saint-Marie de Mont favours Axis. Interesting. So we'll see. Controversial opinion as always, Garthnix. I'm your guy.
To be honest, I also kind of am more Axis are a little bit more favored, especially after the Tiger got buffed. But I mean, I think SNDM is in general is a pretty fair map. Generally, I would say, compared to all the other maps we have, and yeah, So it will be definitely an interesting game. I think it won't be an easy win for Trigger nor for
Yeah.
82nd AD.
Mhm.
They both will fight like beasts, I think. So I'm
I think
looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be a tough one. Both teams
No,
great at defending. They're not going to give it up.
no,
I'd like
definitely.
to watch that one. It's going
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
sweaty.
for sure. And the winner of that one, of course, like we got to say, goes through into the playoffs as well.
Hmm.
To be sitting there with Core and What the Hell, waiting for the main stage to kind of wrap up, and then we'll kind of go on to the final, the playoffs.
ESPT BHPOP versus The Line. What did you guys think? And
What's
chat.
about my game?
No, you just said your game, no?
What?
You just said your game, no?
uh, we got
Oh
to
no,
cover
no,
Blacklist STB, bro.
that's what I
Come on.
meant.
Ah. Oh.
Um, yeah, I mean, of course, we will win 5-0, probably in maybe around 30 minutes, probably.
Wow.
No, no, no. I mean, Blacklist is a really, really, really good team, and um, the big problem we will face is it's on Easter holidays in Germany, and
Mm.
it's for all German teams this weekend will be pretty tough to field all the players because they have family and some things planned. So
Hmm.
the scheduling is right now undergoing, and yeah. So I I I kind of think that this will put us in a big disadvantage, but
It's Easter in
every
France, though, right? As well.
Eastern Front.
No,
Uh,
it's Easter weekend in France
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
mm,
So
yeah. So
so
probably
both
for them
teams might
too.
be affected
Yeah, the
by that.
scheduling is for yeah. We had some that our team reps are discussing everything with Blacklist and yeah. Um,
But you guys are playing
which
Samurai Glees, right?
who's
yeah.
got the sides?
Sorry, what?
What sides are each? Who's got who?
Um,
Axis are
we got
Blacklist,
yeah.
Okay.
and yeah,
Yeah.
SCB allies. So how do you feel about the fact that they just practiced as Axis against Core
Well,
on Samurai Glees?
they had some more matches I think on SME and Axis. So it will be really tough. I mean, they gained a lot of experience and a lot of some probably some sweet spots they learned from the enemy team and or what to do better next time. So it will be an uphill fight for us probably, but we will try our best and I think the most important thing will be to cap the first point.
Hmm.
And then
Definitely. First
depending
point.
on which point, the classic thing with Samurai Glees, tanks.
Yeah,
Yes.
Who's got stronger tanks, do you reckon?
um, that's a good question.
They're both good.
I'm pretty confident about our tanks. I think we have also pretty really good tanks. Really experienced tanks, and I think tank-wise we will have and also the 76 still is a little bit better than the Tiger because of ricochet is happening more often on the 76 than the Tiger. So I think tank-wise we will have a at least slight advantage maybe, but yeah, Blacklist has some tough defense, some really good artillery, and uh, really good MGs. So yeah, would be a hard one.
For sure.
Looking just quickly over the games that we have is definitely, I'd say, the tightest of the games.
Yeah, I hope so.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared to move on. I might get told off.
Let's go. Let's
I'm
go.
joking. ESPT, VHP, OP against the line.
Oof.
ESPT
What are the
is,
maps?
let's cover the map again. Yeah, I was going to say ESPT and the line are currently in their ban phase right now. So there's only two that have been ruled out. Can you guess what they are? Kursk and Stalingrad.
Oh, I was going to go Purple
Um,
Heart Lane.
Oof.
no, Purple Heart Lane is still in it, completely untouched
Maybe.
as yet. Foy also has no bans on it at all.
Maybe we also want to wait a little bit because I think they just
They're kind of doing it right
started.
now.
Yeah,
Okay,
so maybe
okay.
we will
Let's
come to back.
yeah.
You know.
Let's come back to that.
Yeah.
Phoenix versus 501 Bastardo Boys.
This will be also for me personally, also because I want Phoenix to get that W, and definitely want to meet them in the playoffs maybe. So I definitely hope they, even if you lose 2 times, you still have that chance. You just keep on
Yeah.
going, and I think Phoenix has shown that they are willing to learn from past games and putting out a fight. And I'm definitely going for Phoenix on this one. I mean, what map was it?
Well, it's Hill 400, so I don't know if that
pretty
changes anything.
interesting.
Yeah,
Who's though? Who's who?
it's kind of a crazy setup with Phoenix as Axis and 501st and Bastardo Boys
By the way,
as allies.
I love those map picks so far in the season at this time. I mean, we had almost everything, and it's really fun to see to get always every week a match on a just completely
Yeah. Not the same
unusual map.
boring. Yeah.
Absolutely.
so-
And I love the streaming on Hill 400 is so difficult to cover
Yeah.
it because
Don't
the
get too
elevation of the map literally fills up almost the whole of like the box. You know, like you hit an invisible wall, like a ceiling, and your camera can't go any higher because the hill is so high.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a crazy one, yeah. So
Yeah.
so Phoenix Axis.
It would definitely depend on mostly on the infantry on this map, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
tanks would just won't be good on as an offensive tank. They if you even want to play tanks on this map, I mean, also a fair tactical decision, especially when you're fighting around the mid and the forest.
I think it probably depends like on the points as well, like not just
Yeah.
who wins it, but like whether you play tanks and things as well, because like some of them lend themselves more to some
Yeah.
defensive tank play. But
Yeah. And
Yeah, it would be, I have to be honest, I really can't tell you what side I would favor on this map because I haven't seen a lot of competitive matches on this
Mhm.
map, and in public it's all crazy around this map. So
absolutely.
for me, hard to say it.
And the points are so varied as well, like in terms
Yeah.
of who they
Yeah.
favor. And the other thing as well, just to mention about this game is that obviously this is the first of the games that we're covering here that one of the teams is going to get that big -3 and going to go out. So one of these teams they've picked Hill 400, these guys, for their last stand, you know, potentially.
they feel
That's
comfortable with
crazy.
What I think what also is interesting is that basically the Bastardos shows Hill 400. They had to choose between Utah Beach or Axis or Hütgen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, not Hütgen, but Hill.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of reminds me on our pick with Stalingrad. I think maybe they thought, oh,
We're being
Utah
baited.
Beach. Maybe Phoenix wants really hard to get us on Utah, and they are more experienced. Maybe it's
Mhm.
fair to say they wanted a map where maybe both teams have fairly balanced on the experience, just on merely on the experience on this map. I mean, if your infantry really don't know the sweet spots and where to walk, and just don't really know where the enemy will come from and stuff like that, it's a lot harder, and you balance out more of the shooting skills, but it's not always going that as planned. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, definitely. What about 106 Greyhounds versus Fin Let Loose?
Yeah, so this 116 are the Axis, Fins Let Loose are the allies on Carentan.
Oh, Carentan.
Always a tricky one, again with the points. Fins Let Loose.
I don't know.
Fins Let Loose won against Team Phoenix here, but the
Mm.
teams were flipped. They were Axis back in the qualifiers.
I think I'm going to go with Queenix and Luxor. I think 116 on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also say Greyhounds are pretty good. I mean, yeah, and as you said, Finns played Axis, I think, every time, and so it's kind of different, different view on the map and different strat. So,
but the
um,
Sure.
the
And
points,
tanks, 116 tanks are going to come into this so much. Finns that lose tanks, though, to be fair, like they certainly have one tank squad who are excellent. And so it's not something like, oh, it's just going to be easy for the 116 tanks, but I think all in all, like the tanks are going to be stronger, like more consistent through 116, and that could clinch it, depending on the point.
Yeah, like
and to give the Greyhounds the exercise on quarantine is also a high risk you take, because Greyhounds, they will find spots on this map to place their tanks and anti-guns where they snipe you from 2,000 kilometers away, and Quarantine has a lot exercise. Montalais just is one big hill. Your HQ is more higher than the Allies one, so you have multiple good spots. So yeah, I think that's a big advantage for them.
For sure. Quicknick says, I feel like Finns that lose keep ending up on the shit side every time, lol. Maybe maybe last seasonal was their their baptism into how to win games and how to stay in the seasonal. Maybe this seasonal is their baptism into the ban phase.
Well, Streets has gone. You all thought 116 that last week and a week before.
Oh, so, yeah. Wobegong. Take that, bro.
But I mean, the Finns had the last pick between SNDM and Quarantine, so it seems like they wanted to play Quarantine. And
I think they like Quarantine.
Yeah. And then we will see how they will plan out.
Okay.
Cast is cursed. I said ESPT were going to win, man, all the way.
I'm not changing my vote. Sorry. 116. Sorry.
Is that loose? Let's do this. I'm for the Finns.
EG.
Just because I love those guys.
Will you bet on it?
Yeah, lend me a tenner.
Okay.
EG taking on Trirex. What's the map on that one?
This again is a big game. So the map on this one has been chosen as Foy, with EG as allies and Trirex as Axis.
EG.
I have to say, EG kind of has a record for pushing for unusual maps like Stalingrad Allies in their first Bastardos game, and other. I don't know. I think they also, or didn't they already play it on Foy?
I think they did one of their first ones in the main stage.
Yeah, so they kind of have the strategy probably to play more unusual maps and to kind of specialize on them to get an advantage against even more experienced teams. But it's still an unusual map. So
they will be on the Trirex server, so they probably have a ping advantage because there's a long distance between the two. But Trirex is also kind of Birex now, maybe. So that might also this is always the problem if you have alliances, things can change, and I think that's something that we'll see maybe a problem for them too.
So it's quite a mixed opinion on that one then.
It's very even on the public vote at the moment as well.
Well, I mean, Axis for me is favored still on Foy through most points. I mean, especially if you get Rest Band, will be a tough one for EG to get in there and or to cap it back. And Trirex has a cool dinosaur in his logo, and I think they perform pretty well. So I will go for Trirex. I think they performed against Trigger. I expected more a 5-0 for Trigger, to be honest, and they kept fighting. They kept pushing them back, and also almost got the point. So I think Trirex will get this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think Trirex as well have had a bit of a rough main stage so far with their first round pick against 116, and they beat 501st and BST2 to go through to play against Trigger, and I think Trigger's not an easy team for them to be playing against. So you know, they've for a kind of a new team, as it were, like they've really
Yeah, definitely.
they've done well, and I think that they're not something that EG can just like, you know,
Yeah.
take lightly. And I don't think that Sitch and the guys at Eastern Group will do that. But I think we might see some real, because again, it's an elimination game, so we might see some real like balls to the wall kind of plays from both of these teams. Because I know Trirex love a crazy strat. Like you say, EG can be like really aggressive and really kind of like interesting strategically, and it's a map where yes, tanks are very important and they're going to come into it, but like a lot of the time they're kind of quite formulaic because of how it's laid out, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for anti-tank guns to be built, and to, you know, if the teams are doing their research, which I know both teams do research before the games, like they're going to be lining, you know, we're going to see what we saw with What the Hell versus ESPT BHBOP, maybe, where you've got like one guy is like lined up, but then another guy's lined up on that guy, and maybe another guy's lined up on that guy, kind of thing. And it just like it could be crazy, this game, because it's to stay in it.
Yeah, every game this one, there's someone going to be leaving, so big pressure tonight. What's the outcome of the ESPT NTL game?
It's not quite there. It's still ongoing. So we've had a few more additions to the ban list. So Hurtgen's out, Foy is out, Carentan is out. So it's between Hill 400, Purple Heart Lane, Summery de Moz, San Merigles, and Utah Beach at the moment.
I think there was probably settled on something like SME, SDM, or what is it, Utah?
Utah, maybe. Yeah.
Shall we watch a few clips?
Let's
then
do it.
Hopefully they will have, and then we'll just come back and just have our final say on that particular game.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. Clips.
It's going to go Purple Heart Lane, trust me, says Quickness. Well, it very well could. Like, it's one of the ones that hasn't got a single vote so far. I'd love to see that. Not going to lie.
Okay. Yeah, stick on the stream till the end to know what they banned.
Yeah.
To get our professional analysis of the game.
Yeah, and House rightly points out North American Derby.
Oh yeah.
So
stay tuned.
Big game that.
So Guderian will probably get that. Maybe quick. Who else is from?
Mr. Nitro.
Mr. Nitro.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is
Quick
Mr.
mix.
Nitro USA?
Quick. You're from. No, he's English, isn't he? But yeah, there's definitely a few casters over there. So, right. Weekly top clips. We've had a few. We've had some corkers. There are loads on the spring seasonal highlights channel. So if it's not up here, go see, because there's just too many good ones to particularly put on. But I have got 5 for you today, and in first place does go to, let's have a watch. Wait there. I have to do this because it's on the
Billy B.
Yeah, Billy B. 1 sec.
So we get like widescreen.
他真的是要跟76打一架，他，哎呦你也别打了，赶紧跑吧，别打了，赶紧走。他直接被中国 T2 的3个反坦克兵给围歼了。
That was disgusting. Look, all 3 hits at the same time.
At the same moment, yeah. If you want the sound, you can just turn on the stream if you're watching the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a boomer. Okay, so
let's watch that one.
Me too. It took me ages to work that out.
我以为他要跟76打一架。他真的是要跟76打一架，他，哎呦你也别打了，
I love how frantically they're trying to escape though. They're like skidding, like oh my god.
哎呀哎。
I wonder if they really coordinated that, but.
He's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Great capture on that one. Yeah, so I didn't actually catch. I know it was Trigger Trirex game, but the unknown tankers I've put, I weren't too sure who was in that tank, but I don't think they want to put their name forward to be the owner of that one. But the next game that we've got was.
On the LP, I put satchel on it. It'll drive onto it. I put one on there as well.
Did you drop satchel?
Yeah, 2 satchels on it, yeah. You should get it spare, I reckon. He got it. Nice.
The confirmation from Thorpe. He got it. Fantastic work from Thorpe, and that goes to show why he came top killer.
Did he kill
in
the
his-
tank then?
He did. We can
Yeah,
watch
nice.
it again.
I just when he said he got it, I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
he
just-
got it. Yeah, nice.
Just about hear it.
It'll drive onto it. I put one on there as well.
On pipette plays, I would say.
Satchel?
Yeah, 2 satchels on it, yeah. You should get it spare, I reckon. He got it. Nice.
Yeah, confirmation. Fantastic work, Thorpe from 82 AD. Let's have a little look at the third clip that we have.
Hot post. So bad top diver maybe can get him. So there's bad top. What are they doing? Holy shit! Bad top diver gives the Lux one shot and taking out one player from CFR, and he's running around. What are they doing? He shuffled him. Yeah, he do it. He shuffled him, guys.
What are they doing? I thought that was the funniest clip. Brilliant. But normally when you see an enemy, you just straight away, even though if you want to get a midi kill, you don't necessarily get it because you just
like
see a
chase
person.
the guy down.
Was it worth it though for the Lux
Oh,
to not protect him in?
exactly. Let's watch that one again.
Hot post. So bad top diver maybe can get him. So there's bad top. What are they doing? Holy shit!
I'd say the
Bad
tank
top
kill
diver
is
gives,
definitely worth getting
the Lux
shoveled.
one shot
Yeah, probably.
and taking out one player from CFR, and he's running around. What are they doing? He shuffled him. Yeah, he do it. He shuffled him, guys.
I think any
Did he run out of
player-
ammo?
Yeah, any player that now sees that clip and you're that tanker, I think there's going to be a few words being spread between them two. Fourth clip of this evening goes to.
His teammate? Yes, he can. That's a nade and second nade. That clears out that squad. Actually, I shouldn't say nade. That was a tank, and that's a garrison spawn.
Oh, this is what I was talking
That's
about
a
earlier.
huge number of
There
players.
it
Tank engaging, Toledo engaging as well. Toledo getting
Just
taken out. This
doing
Panzer IV
the
is still
hello
alive.
there and blowing shit up.
A
That's
few players
amazing.
left though. There's a rocket
Hey
from
guys,
Zark.
just the body parts like
This tank.
That is
Will that
disgusting.
destroy the garrison? No, the garrison
So
is still
dirty.
alive for now. The tank is getting smoked off. And there it is. What could have been
Yeah, nice
Excuse me.
Gary.
the last chance for the Greyhounds
Nice.
And he goes
Silenced
and continues.
by the Panzer IV crew.
He just drives down the dish.
And now
Yeah,
it's
it's-
turning around,
it's like
picking up
they-
kills. There's two.
it
Black
was
Swan is
so
down.
Crazy
Oh.
to see how
Oh,
they
Black
just
Swan as well.
Boom.
Getting
wandered
cleared
over
out.
the battlefield
That's
and
Mr. Do, boss man,
just
and
made
Atrocity.
some total chaos. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Fantastic. And we've watched all the others again. Let's watch that one again because
Yes,
that
he
is
can. That's a
actually brilliant.
nade and second
Totally
nade.
berserk.
That clears out that squad. Actually, I shouldn't say nade. That was a tank, and that's a garrison spawn. That's a huge number
That's
of
why I
players.
think
Tank
you can-
engaging, Toledo
You
engaging
can
as well.
do some really good editing on that. Some put some
Toledo getting taken out.
some
This
good
Panzer
sounds
IV
over
still
it
alive.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's-
Lots of kids
Few
crying,
players left though. There's a rocket from Zark.
shouting mummy.
This tank. Will that destroy the garrison? No, the garrison is still alive for now. The tank is getting smoked off. And there it is. what could have been, excuse me, the last chance for the Greyhounds, silenced by the Panzer IV crew. And now it's turning around, cleaning up the kills. There's 2. Black Swan is down. An OP spawn as well, getting cleared out.
Ouch.
That's Mr.
Headache.
Do, Bossman,
Headache.
and Atrocity.
And there we have it. That is the 4th clip.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Shout out, by the way, to the casters who got those. That was
yeah.
Mr. Nitro at the end, right? I think, was it Captain Toxic before that?
Yes. And then you had the...
Oh, and then it was Minger.
Yeah, and Pim? Was it Pimmel?
Oh, was it Pimmel as well?
I'm
Somebody.
not too sure. Don't quote me on that one. But fantastic ones. And I wish I never said what I said about Luxor earlier, because you guys know it. You know the video. Here it is. The
Yeah.
moment of truth.
Oh god, that don't. Need to get my new panties off
They
there.
might be able to do it. Bombing run coming in.
How many?
It's
How
like
many?
the dream bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
How many kills?
Yeah.
Luxor, you probably got a kill streak with that one. Can you remember what you got? Let's
I
watch
mean,
it
I could
again.
count, but I'm too lazy for that.
I can probably pause it one second. Of Chapel.
8.
5 seconds left, and I think they might be able to. Let's just pause it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 in the background. Let's have a little look as it continues. Bombing run coming in. Anyone else has spawned? It's about, yeah. Oh, there's a few more spawned in, so maybe a little bit more. Oh, they missed it. Yes,
And
about
then
about 10.
Yeah. Perfect.
Fantastic.
So
They are obviously the clips. They're the ones that we've put up. Again, like I said, there's plenty more clips back in that seasonal Discord channel, highlights and replays. So go check them out. Let's jump back straight over and let's look at the ESPT, OP, BHB and TL. How's that ended up?
Yeah. Still.
Still going, I believe.
Are we almost finished?
It's still open for SMDM, SME, or Utah probably. So.
Purple Lane still in it though.
Oh no!
I
Next
thought-
band, Utah. Oh, Utah is out.
Okay, so Samurai Glees, Samurai Demont, Purple Heart Lane, or Hill 400. Let's just finish up and like say our final thanks to to our amazing guest this week, Logical Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for doing this show. I mean, it's a lot of time and a lot of
A lot
videos
of
you have to
time.
watch and analyze, keep remembering. So, and I really enjoy it. I like to listen it probably often the next day during my boring courses or something like that. So
Thank you very much.
it's great.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody, obviously, in the chat as well, and all
Yeah.
the viewers for coming along, like whether you're in the chat today watching it live or, like Lee says, watching it tomorrow or the next day or in a week's time. Massive thanks, as always, to the organisers of the seasonal.
100%.
I've seen Jane was in the chat earlier. Massive thanks to Heidi, of course, and all the people behind the scenes. Huge thanks to Abusify for providing the stats and doing all the ban phase that we're talking about now. He literally made all the bots for the ban phase, so massive thanks to him. Huge thanks to all of the players from all the communities for coming out. And, you know, especially like Lee says, next weekend is Easter. Like, thank you so much for committing your time to give us these amazing games and to, you know, consistently bring this tournament like at the highest level. And thanks to all the casters as well for putting the shows on so we can get our cool clips, and for uploading them to YouTube and stuff, which I know takes time for them, and you know, doing all their overlays and all the cool posters, and you know, we mentioned earlier all the people that do the cool artwork for all the different communities, and just a lot of love probably for everyone really. And normally what we do is we raid another
Yeah.
streamer at the end of this. So because we are live now, it's a lot easier. Like you blew the balls today, but I completely spunked my load yesterday and completely prematurely raided like before they ended the fucking game.
I don't think you should throw in the word premature in that
Yeah, no,
sentence.
bro, I prematurely raided. It was completely outrageous. I got so excited by watching that core game. I was talking on the chat to Smitch Cats, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to raid now," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too, obviously, because that's what I'm going to do." But it wasn't. I'm on a 15-minute delay. I have to wait 15 minutes before I hit raid, so I just like kicked everyone out the fucking stream. But people came back thankfully and finished like the last couple of minutes. But we need to raid somebody because we are live. So guys, put in the chat. No, Flippy, I swear it's the first time. So put in the chat who you want to raid, and we'll see who's on.
We did Lapino last time. We did Will.
We've done
so
Will.
Let's pick someone else now. You know.
We've done Captain Sourboard, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Let's give someone new.
Man, there's been a bunch. Like, try and pick somebody, guys, who's maybe like not got like a huge amount of followers and stuff already, if you can, because it's always nice to try and like boost some people. We've definitely had a couple of people as well, like who've been kind of new to streaming, who've like really made the most of it, because there's quite a few people here for Hell Let Loose streams. Could go Squids, he's a partner, right? So
he's
got
a partner.
Quite a few. But if nobody else, more 53 says House Gangster. Let's get some votes going in the chat, guys.
Look,
just get over there and drop them a follow.
Honourable Bandits.
And don't leave yet, because we're still going to declare the ban rate in a minute. This is why I'm doing all this stuff first.
Yeah, let's go Lurk. He's only got 2 viewers. Let's go bump him up.
Yeah?
Yeah? Should we go do it?
Should we lurk in his chat?
Makes no one happy.
Or Elo Virgil is a UFR player, Quicknick says. Lurk has 2 viewers.
Let's go work. Look, he's only got 2. Yeah, let's go bump him up.
Alright, cool. Before we go, let's just see if anything else has happened. So SME is out. So it's between Hill 400, Purple Heart Lane, and Samurai in 1. It's going to be Purple Heart Lane. Quicknicks is going to be right.
Yeah, it's they're going madness, seems like. Okay. But I think also the Lion just didn't want to play Utah again. Also, but it's, oh my god. It would be cool to have Purple Heartland, and we will have a mixture of maps next week. It will be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be great if it was Purple Heartland.
We will leave it at that. Thank you very much. As Gufnick said, thank you very much for Logical Lee. I know this is probably our longest one, but we went through a corker of a weekend. So thank you very much for chat, for actually sticking around and continuing watching. Big appreciation to every single one of you. But yeah, thank you very much. Have a great week. And
thanks, No Connection. Thanks, No Connection. If you're not following yet, guys, in the lurk in there in the chat, make sure you drop them a follow. Drop those Prime subs. Go follow your favourite casters who've done these cool games throughout this tournament, and just show them that follow love, because like it doesn't cost you anything to do that, and it helps them. So
go follow those casters. Go give them some love. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you over at more 53.
Yeah.
Let's go raiding.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Lee.
Thank you. And we are raiding. Take care. Good night.
Nice.
And I believe we are on.
Yeah, it seemed to work. I'm on dog.
did you end the stream?
Yep.